My older sister, Rita, 20, is disabled. My sister's disability comes with a lot of health issues, and while mentally she's capable, physically she cannot do much and struggles, even with regular school. She never graduated high school because she got so sick in her senior year that it set her way back, and she didn't get the grades to graduate. She was offered the chance to repeat, but she said no because she was still really bad afterward. It causes her a lot of distress, and she still cries because she feels like she failed in the worst way. Nobody can convince her differently. She doesn't work, and she doesn't go to school or anything. She's at home and gets taken care of by her parents. I, a nearly adult female, am still in school, and I'm going into my senior year. There have been a lot of discussions about college or what other avenue I could pursue. I was given information on this apprenticeship that could be perfect for me, and my guidance counselor wanted me to give it consideration over the summer because they take high school graduates. It's exciting. Rita was super upset to hear that I had so many options, and not for the first time. My parents expected me to think of her before making decisions. They suggested I focus on looking at community colleges only, or not going to college at all and going into retail or a service industry job. They told me I could afford my own place if I were to do that. I didn't get to go to camp because Rita couldn't, and they didn't want me to have experiences she couldn't. I wasn't allowed to participate in school plays because Rita couldn't participate in hers. My parents would actually stop my teachers from including me. They refused to sign a permission slip that would have allowed me to enter a competition on behalf of my school because Rita would never get to have an experience like that herself. They didn't feel it was right for me to have it then. The permission slip came in because some travel might be involved if I were to go anywhere. They pulled me out of art classes when I was young because I was doing super well and getting a lot of praise. My parents actually pressured me to ask if I could leave the classes, but they pulled me regardless. Rita would always get upset when I achieved something or got presented with a great opportunity. She'd cry, ask me why I got everything and she got nothing. I felt bad for her, but also resentful that she was glad when our parents held me back. This became a fight when the college stuff came up again, and my parents saw me looking up the apprenticeship, and my parents asked me how I could ever think about going and how selfish I would be. They said I should aim for something lower for Rita's sake. Rita heard us argue about it, and she said she knows I'm too selfish to give it up for her. I told them I hated them for expecting me to. Rita and my parents said I had no sense of family loyalty at all. Am I the idiot for refusing to give up opportunities that come my way for my sister's sake? Not the idiot, but I'm sorry to say this. This sounds like emotional abuse. They're forcing you to live your sister's life, but you have your own life. You are your own person. If they cannot see that, you need to leave that house as soon as possible. You are not being selfish for having your own life. Your sister's being selfish for denying you one. Your parents are being absolute idiots for forcing it on you. Wow, that is horrid. Your parents are being completely ridiculous and irrational. It was bad enough that they stifled your education and experience as a child. Now they want to pressure you to do so as an adult. They want you to live a lifetime of mediocrity just to appease your sister. What's next? If you want to go for that apprenticeship, go for it. If you want to go away to college, do it. I highly recommend it to you. It sounds like your family's trying to limit you so that they can control your life. It's your life, not theirs. You deserve to experience everything you want to. OP, listen to this advice. You need to get far away from their decision making. When your parents get older, they'll look to you to take care of Rita. They're going to ruin your ability to make money, then expect you to financially support your sister for the rest of your life. Ask yourself how much more you're willing to give up if you don't cut this behavior off right now. They will never, ever stop. College, career, marriage, kids. There's nothing that'll ever satisfy them. This is going to be hard, but you need to follow this advice here. Quietly gather your documents and stop the damage from continuing. We're all rooting for you. You can do this. A little background. My boyfriend, 28, and I, 26 female, have been going out since high school and have a very jokey relationship. Poking fun for the most part isn't out of the question. Though if one of us says we aren't comfortable with one of the jokes, the other makes an effort not to make it again for the most part. I've been an obsessive fan of a music artist since I was 14. I have more than one tattoo inspired by this artist and her aesthetic. I've seen her in concert multiple times. I own more merch than I can say, and I've run several different fan accounts devoted to her during this time. I understand this is weird. I try not to bring it up in everyday conversation because I'm aware it is weird. Most people who know me in passing do not know this about me. Only my best friend and boyfriend know about my fan accounts. I'm not the person who talks about this artist constantly. I'm not the person who's annoying in large groups about it. No, there was a learning curve in high school, but losing friends is a great motivator to fix yourself. Since we got together, my boyfriend has made jokes about this on and off. Admittedly, whenever I mention that, it makes me feel insecure and unsafe expressing myself around him. He stops for a while, but he always starts up again, and it just bothers me. I can't fully explain it, but it makes me feel like the things I like are inherently bad, and that he wants me to stop having this interest because he doesn't see value in it. Now, he's never said that, and I don't genuinely believe that, but that's how he makes me feel. An example, I had been cleaning dishes and listening to her music when he came into the kitchen and started singing along in the most high-pitched, off-key falsetto voice I had ever heard before busting up and turning it off and saying something like, "I don't see how you listen to this crap." This was one of those times I told him that he had hurt my feelings. He apologized and explained that he'd only meant it as a lighthearted joke and that he didn't care what kind of music I listened to. I don't really get mad over this. It just hurts my feelings. Context out of the way. We were out at a dinner with his friends and their girlfriends. I left to go to the bathroom and returned to him, showing them a video on his phone, and the audio was familiar immediately. It was a performance from over a decade ago that was panned pretty universally. They were all laughing and he was making a lot of jokes until he noticed I had gone quiet and said to lighten up. I tried to smile, but he wouldn't drop it, and I said, "I don't like your music either, but I would never make fun of you for it. You know that?" It was a quiet meal and ride home, and he's now barely talking to me. Two of the girlfriends there said I made everything awkward and that I was being unfair because we always made jokes with each other. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Isn't it interesting how someone says or does something hurtful, and once the other person reacts badly, they start going on about how it was just a joke, and you're a bore for not getting it? Jokes aren't supposed to be funny. You told him several times that you're not comfortable with him poking at your favorite artist, which is understandable. He promises you he won't do it anymore, and he then repeatedly breaks his promise. He knows how it bothers you and he just doesn't care. And the fact that you have fan accounts and tattoos inspired by your favorite artist doesn't justify him disrespecting your wishes. Honey, do yourself a favor and stop wasting time on this guy. He's 28. He's far too old to be telling people to lighten up when he hurts their feelings, and he's actively making you feel bad about something you love. It sounds like he never left high school. I love Pokemon. I'm much older than you. My husband thought my Pokemon turrets when Pokemon Go came out was funny, but he never made me feel bad about it. Even though it's not his thing, he thought it was cute, though he would get frustrated with me almost walking into traffic all the time. I disagree that I did that, but I can't blame him for worrying about my safety, LOL. If you love something that isn't hurting anyone else or tearing other people down, then no one, especially your partner, should be making you feel bad about it. You've spent a decade with this man, and he's still not respecting you when you've let him know your feelings? Jokes are meant to be funny. He's using it as an excuse to be an idiot. I, 30 female, am currently 2 months pregnant with my first child and engaged to my fiancé of 3 years, James, 31. For a little background, when I was a teen, my parents had my brother, and 5 years after, while I was 20, and Matt was a kindergartner, my parents and Matt were driving home when they got into an accident, resulting in my parents' death. After the accident, I was destroyed and devastated, but I had to pull myself together to be there for my brother. The following month, I buried my parents, and with the help of my aunt and uncle, I applied for guardianship of my brother. It took about 7 months before I was approved. I had to get a stable job and income, which I did, and proper housing for me and my brother, which I did by using money from my inheritance to buy a house and other little things. But in the end, I got my guardianship of my brother. It was hard at first while looking after my brother. It's easy now, but there are still ups and downs. But I would do it all over again for my brother. I met my fiance when I was 27 at a gathering, and we just clicked. And after 3 months of dating, he proposed to me. At first I said no because I still had my brother to take care of. But after thinking about it, I said yes, and we agreed to wait until we were financially stable. At the beginning of this year, we wanted to tie the knot since I was pregnant because I didn't want my baby to be born out of wedlock. And we started the preparations, and the wedding's happening in October. But from what happened last week, Saturday night, it looks like there isn't going to be a wedding. We fought over and resolved many issues. For example, the wedding date. The date my fiance wanted for the wedding was on my brother's birthday. I had a problem with that. I wanted to throw my brother a big party because he was having a major birthday. So I offered the week after, which we argued, and he even ran to his mother to try to convince me. But I stood my ground, stating my brother's birthday was important to me. There was a little more fighting, but we ended up coming to a resolution. Then there were roles that I wanted my brother to play in my wedding. At first I offered my brother to be his best man, but he said he wanted his best friend. I said, okay. Then I said ring boy. He would hold the rings in a little pillow and bring it up to us. But James said he wanted his nephew. I said okay and left it. Saturday morning I was watching this TikTok video where the bride asked her male best friend to be her man of honor, and I thought it was sweet, so I decided to bring it to him. When he came home, I was in the kitchen while my brother was at a sleepover over his friend's house that Saturday night. As he entered and sat down, I said I had the perfect role for Matt. Him? What is that? Me? I thought he could be my man of honor, and then both wedding parties would walk out as singles. Him? What? Me? Man of honor. Or I'll call him my brother of honor. It would be lovely. Him? But I thought you wanted my sister to be your maid of honor, so that can't work. Me? I never agreed to this. And what about my brother? I want him to play some role in my wedding. Him? I was thinking he could be a guest and sit in the rows. I was completely shocked. I wanted my brother to be at my wedding and not some side guest. I didn't know what to say. He wanted to put my brother on the sidelines. His whole family was playing some part in the wedding, and most of my bridesmaids were his cousins. Only 2 were close friends, but he couldn't grant me this. I stopped what I was doing and told him no. It was my wedding and I wanted my brother to be my man of honor. He said his sister was better and my brother would be a guest. He didn't want children in the wedding parties. I completely lost it and started arguing with him from one thing to the next. Since Saturday, he hasn't come home, only sending his brother to pick up some of his stuff. His mother and sister have been blowing up my phone, but I'm a selfish woman, and so what if my brother's only a guest? So the last time they called was Wednesday night, and I went crazy on both of them, using language I'm not proud of. But I ended the call with, yes, my brother is more important than him, and this wedding, if it's happening. Okay, so this is why you don't marry people you don't know. This man is garbage, and so is his family. Pregnant or not, this dude is going to control every single aspect of your life, and guarantee one of the first will be trying to remove your brother from the house. You'd be an absolute pine cone to marry this pill. After 3 months of dating, he proposed. This was already a red flag that should have given you pause about him. Then all the other crap. Your STBX is jealous of your brother and has planned to cancel him from your and his life after the wedding. I'd be 100% rethinking having a kid with someone like this. He'll be jealous of the baby and thinking up ways to destroy that kid's self-esteem, place in the family, and more. Yes, this dude sounds like a future evil stepfather. Just this girl. Don't even look for anything else. Please, you would be better off without this man. Please don't fall for this crappy man. God is giving you clear signs in bold. Read and run. Better to stay single rather than be married to this jerk. Good luck, OP. You deserve a better man. My now wife divorced her ex when her 3 kids were young. He was an addict. She met me a few years later, and we dated for 2 years before she introduced me to her kids. 2 kids really hit it off. and Kelly did not like me. Just passive-aggressive stuff, but it became much worse when her dad passed away. She did not take it well and resulted in a lot of outbursts. I wasn't living there at this time. She went into therapy, but overall, it didn't seem like it helped. She threatened to run away if I married her mom, so I stayed away but continued to date their mom. Over time, the two other kids started to stay at my place to get away from the drama. It was a rough time for them and we bonded even more. When Kelly was 18, the two of us decided to stop putting our lives on hold and get married. Kelly hated this. The other kids were happy though. Every interaction I've had with her has been unpleasant, and I don't see her as one of my kids. I eventually adopted her siblings when they were teens. They asked me. During that time, she destroyed much of her siblings' stuff for betraying their dad. Now I rarely see her, and I prefer it that way. The two kids have an on and off relationship. I paid for my two kids' weddings. I got a call from her asking me to pay for her wedding since I paid for the other two. I told her no. This started an argument about how it's unfair. I had enough and told her to have her dead dad pay for the wedding. She hung up after some lovely names. I may have gone too far, which makes me an idiot. Edit. She's 27 right now. Everyone's the idiot. Yeah, she's an entitled brat to think she can treat you like garbage and then expect you to fund her wedding. However, you sure acted like garbage when you mocked her for having a dead father. You owe an apology, but not a wedding fund. OP does not owe her an apology. Kelly's 27. Has she apologized for all the crappy behavior she's throwing around? What I need help understanding is the thought process behind her asking. Is she trying to make amends? And the most important question, does she expect you to pay and not attend her wedding? What exactly is she expecting? Obviously, you could have taken the high road, but I too would be angered by that outrageous demand from somebody that clearly doesn't respect me. I'm no psychologist, so this could be total BS, but it almost seems like she just did it so she could have another reason to justify hating her stepdad. I doubt she thought he would say yes. Kelly sees you as an ATM. She has not shown remorse or regret for her past behavior. She thought you would be an easy mark, but you're not. Good for you. I would love to hear Kelly's side of the story, though. She sounds traumatized. Plus, this narrative also sounds like you treated her different from her siblings. Likely from day one if she was the difficult kid, the outcast in her family for struggling with complicated grief over the loss of her unworthy father. So I feel like we're not seeing the whole story through your perspective, and I can't make a judgment about the family dynamic at large because of that. But for the comment itself, yes, of course you are the idiot. You know that. I think you meant to be cruel, hoping she'd just stop calling you.